Welcome back to the Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark, and that's your host, Jeff.
Good day to you, sir. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday indeed.
How has your 2026 been so far?
2026 there's a lot of things happening outside, so I'm staying inside.
These are smart takes. That's a good idea. No one is safe. Take that as you will.
No, yes.
No one is safe.
I've always said that, government will kill you.
And sometimes
I didn't know I was talking about like quite literally government will actually kill you. Anyways, Jeff, what is the theme this month? Because we're back to that.
Yes.
And what did we watch this week?
Aren't you glad we're back to themes?
I am glad, actually.
Glad. Good. All right. So the theme this month is train movies. I thought he was going to pick Thomas the Tank Engine, but he never did. But this week, Mark has selected a film for us called The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. It came out in 2009. It's rated R, I think, mostly for the F-bombs. And it stars John Travolta and Denzel Washington, as well as Luis Guzman, John Turturro, and James Gandolfini. Those are your big players. And it's about a train heist, a subway heist, but a train nonetheless. It runs on tracks. I'm accepting that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yep. This is what you picked. Have you seen this before?
I had seen this before. It's been quite a while. And what I told you last week is the reason I picked this is because I remember John Travolta being just like kind of manic in this movie.
Yes.
And in my mind, I thought I was like, I remember John Travolta from like Face Off John Travolta and just 90s Travolta. And this in my mind reminded me a lot of what we got in the 90s with Travolta. And so I was interested to get your take on this because I know you're a 90s fan, you're a 90s action fan.
2009 film.
It is, right. But, can you name another 2000s John Travolta film? I can't.
Was Face Off, or is that 90s still?
That was, I want to say it was like 98, 97, 98, something like that.
What about the space movie that everyone hated?
A space movie? John Travolta was in a space movie?
Yeah, he was in the damn Scientology one. The Starship Battlefield Earth.
Oh. Yeah, that movie was trash.
Yeah, I've never watched it. I've just heard it's the worst thing.
I mean, I only watched it the once, and that was back right around when it came out. And
so
I
90s, he's
trash.
in A Thin Red Line.
Yeah.
But you said 2000s, so
yeah.
So he's in Swordfish, which is
Okay.
famous for Halle Berry's boobies.
Yeah.
He was in The Punisher.
Oh yeah, he was the bad guy in that one.
Yeah, it's the one with what's his name? Thomas Jane.
Yep. He was good. Thomas Jane was a good Punisher.
Punisher movie, probably the best one. He was in Wild Hogs, one of your favorite films.
Oh yeah, we hit the back catalog.
Yeah. Oh Lord, that was rough. But shortly after Wild Hogs, just 2 years later, he dropped Pelham 1, 2, 3 on us. But he is starring alongside the evergreen Denzel Washington, who just, like, even in his bad movies, he's just really great. Like, what is a bad Denzel performance? Has there?
I don't think I've seen one. I honestly.
Do you know any bad Denzel movies like that you would say, "Oh, that's bad"?
I mean, unless it's like something like his early stuff,
Game.
which
we didn't like. He Got Game very much.
No, but I wouldn't call that a bad movie, right?
Did I make you watch Virtuosity? No, I don't think I have.
No. But
that's
John Travolta is, like you said, he's evergreen. Like he is one of those.
John Travolta's evergreen.
I mean, not John Travolta.
I said Denzel. Don't put words in my mouth.
Denzel is evergreen. It's because he's one of those guys that's almost he's timeless. He spans decades and he's always great. And I think now he's starting to, now as he gets older, he's really starting to get his flowers, right? In the Hollywood community. He was nominated for an Oscar last year for his Gladiator 2 performance. Oh wait, no, he wasn't nominated for an Oscar. He was nominated for a bunch of other things for Gladiator 2, but he wasn't nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, he had already had. Didn't like he win for Malcolm X?
Yeah.
You know?
No, you're right. He's won, but like I really feel like Hollywood is starting to really appreciate Denzel. I just like, this movie reminded me of kind of like a poor man's Spike Lee movie. And
Okay.
and it mainly because of the way it was shot. Like it's got that, like it's got that slowed down streaky pan camera. I don't know anymore what to
So
call it.
there's
But
a scene in this movie that drove me a little nuts, and not for any other reason than the way it was shot. So this was Tony Scott's the director. I don't know if he's the director of photography or not, but there's a scene where James Gandolfini gets off of the train or the subway or whatever that is. It was an above ground train, and they're talking about the fact that the Pelham 123 has been taken, and the camera just circles him and circles him while all of these advisors and shit come up, and it just keeps going, and I'm getting dizzy, and it didn't serve a purpose to me. It didn't even seem to be a metaphor for someone spinning out or whatever, you know, like you could say like, oh, everything was coming at him all at once, but James Gandolfini was cool as a cucumber in that scene. And so it just felt like a style choice, and it made me nauseous.
When the movie first started and it's doing that slow, streaky shit on the screen, I was like,
yeah.
damn, I really hope that this isn't the entire movie. Like, and it wasn't, but there are certain things that take place in the movie where it does do that, and I'm like, that's a dumb choice. It's got to be a '90s thing, you know, how kind of the style at the time. But this movie really reminded me of a Spike Lee movie. And Tony Scott, he is or was, he's dead now, but
Didn't know that.
he died very shortly after this movie.
Really?
But his last movie was another Denzel Train movie called Unstoppable. And that was on the short list for one of my movies.
I have seen Unstoppable, I think. What was
It's got Chris Pine in it.
like Chris Pine? Okay, yeah. All right, so yeah, I had seen that one.
Yeah.
Was he the bad guy? Was Denzel the bad guy in that?
No, he was good. Him and Chris Pine were the two
Working
conductors
together?
of the
Okay.
but so Tony Scott, Denzel, he's like kind of a Denzel staple, or was a Denzel director. I think Denzel was in like
He directed
5.
the original Top Gun,
Yeah.
True Romance, which is not good, in my opinion. Some people might like it because it's Tarantino wrote the screenplay, but that movie is butt.
But
Yep.
but no, I mean, so Days of Thunder, he also directed.
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yeah, so I mean, Tony Scott's this very well-known director, and later in his career, he kind of latched on to Denzel, and they kind of rode.
Wouldn't you?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
if I could have
100%.
Denzel in all of my movies, I would.
Yeah.
Just the guy just hits home runs. So
So, like, it's easy to, I think, to make a movie around a movie star that you know is gonna, like you said, hit a home run every time. Tom Cruise is that way. Will Smith for a time was that way. Brad Pitt's that way. And Denzel is still that way. And so
yeah.
this movie, I really didn't really care anything about the backstory here with Denzel and why he's the dispatcher here and
Now,
the stuff he may have done.
But so did you feel like he had done it? Like up until the confession thing, I'm like, I don't know that he did it, right? You kind of get this.
I still don't
feeling
know
like,
if he did it, right?
Well, you
I
get
still
this
don't know if he
feeling
did
his
it.
Boss is pissed off at him about something, and you don't know what, right?
Right.
They really don't say, and you kind of think because the audience, we as the audience, we're programmed to like Denzel. Like it really takes a lot of effort for him to be the bad guy. Like, unless you specifically tell us otherwise, movie, we're assuming Denzel's the hero.
Yeah.
And like, so I'm mad at the boss guy. I'm thinking, is this guy fucking racist? Is he just not wanting Denzel to take his job? What's the deal? And then you hear about the bribery scandal, and he denies it, and convincingly so. Being a great actor, Denzel's able to convince me that he didn't do it. But then pretty much Travolta's like, no, you did this shit, and I want you to tell me why. And he forces his hands and tells a pretty convincing story to the point where we're like, okay, he did it. Like, the movie to me at that moment was telling me, yes, he did this. He took this bribe. Specifically when he asked, what'd you do with the money? Denzel had a very convincing answer.
Well, and it was a quick answer too, right? It wasn't like he had to think about it. It was just kind of off the top of his head. But I mean, the movie's ambiguous in that regard because it doesn't really. I mean, we're supposed to take Denzel's word for it in that he's telling the truth to Travolta. To me, it came off as like he was placating, the demands by Travolta in doing what he had to do because he knew that people's lives were at stake and all this. So, but I was really never interested in that. I was more interested in Denzel talking to Travolta, and for a large chunk of the movie, that's what we get. And while they don't share the screen, but very briefly, I thought the dialogue back and forth was very good, very entertaining. And while it's not witty dialogue, it's the delivery of the dialogue, and it's Denzel being Denzel, and it's Travolta being, I don't want to say Travolta, but being very like manic Travolta. He's very on edge. He's very elevated, and Denzel's very cool, calm, and collected. And I just thought that was a really good dynamic. And for a movie that's about the taking of this train, and there's political things to do, and there maybe white collar crime shit that's happening, and that's why Travolta's doing I didn't really ever care about all of that. I didn't care about like James Gandolfini and all that. I just didn't care.
Yeah, the white collar crime thing kind of snuck up on me. I guess it didn't really. It was an interesting take. Like what I found, there are a couple things going on that I think the movie does smartly. So his demand is for $10 million, but the calculation comes out to 1 cent. And you think it's an accident, right? And then you find out that the limit that the government is approved to give in this sort of situation is 10 million. And so I thought that 1 cent was going to come into play. Like, they were going to get the money, give it to Travolta, and he's going to be like, this isn't what I asked for. I want $10 million and 1 cent. And I thought that was going to be a plot point, and it never was. And I felt like that wasn't an accident, and you could have done something there with that. Would have kept the story going in an unexpected way. But come to find out, he's not even worried about it. He's some sort of, he does like a short sell on the stock market, and his terrorist attack is able to cause the numbers to drop like a stone, and then he makes a bunch of money. That was, and then like that, but he's also like ready to die. Like the whole movie, he kind of has this like idea that he may not be making it through this day, and that's okay. Like, he kind of is like finding that to be a satisfactory outcome. Like, for him, I got 2 outcomes. I'm either rich or dead at the end of this day, and I'm good with either, which makes him a really loose cannon. He also isn't a good bad guy, right? There isn't a level of honor there because he's perfectly happy killing people. Not a big deal for him. And so he's
but also not a big. It's not a big deal for a bad guy. And to reinforce your point, at no point in time did I ever think that there was any redeeming for John Travolta's character, right? And those type of villains I enjoy. I enjoy when we just get sadistic, bad dude. And I really felt like that's what the character with John Travolta gave us. And it was just the performance is refreshing, is because I guess I just haven't seen in the last 25 years just that much of John Travolta, right? And it's like this movie reminded me why he was so popular in the 90s. And why, he has range. Like, I've seen him in other things, and I've seen him in this, and I've seen him in there's a movie that he did shortly after this called From Paris with Love.
Well, that
And
sounds an awful lot like a Bond from Russia with Love.
it is kind of, it's spy-esque, but Travolta plays kind of this anti-hero in it. And I've only seen it once, but I remember it is because it's Travolta being very elevated. But he's playing a, pseudo bad guy. Or I'm sorry, good guy. But like, he has range, and I feel like in this movie, he perfectly plays off of Denzel and the dialogue Denzel's delivering, and he's gravitationally he draws you in, and or at least he did for me. And I think that's important with a movie like this, is when you have two competing characters, but they don't share a ton of screen time. Like there's got to be a reason why you're glued to the TV when Denzel's not there. And I think Travolta delivers that in this movie.
Yeah, I think I kind of dig this Travolta. I like a good, we've seen Nicolas Cage movies where he's not going full Cage, and we're not usually that happy about it. And I'm glad that this is a Travolta movie where he's gone full Travolta, and it makes it better to. I really actually like the dynamic between him and Denzel over the radio, and the talking shit they do, and he's like, "I like you," and you get the genuine feeling, yeah, he does kind of like this guy.
Yeah.
I don't think Denzel necessarily feels the same way, but I dig their whole interaction. Every time they were talking together, it was pretty riveting, pretty entertaining throughout. Anytime they were together, and they're on screen the bulk of the film, one of them or the other.
Yeah. Right. And in both characters, the performances by these actors and the characters, I very much believed, and it's very easy for me to like. Denzel could, like, his character could be a hot dog cart sales guy, right, on the side of the street, and Denzel would have me believing that he's been selling hot dogs all his life. That's kind of the.
I think it's a low bar for him, though. I think he can pull it off with ease.
But it's just that's the gist you get from the, like, he plays this train dispatcher that's kind of risen through the ranks of the New York Transit Authority, whatever it's called, and he's very competent when it comes to what he's doing, and that he portrays that very well. Same thing with Travolta. He strikes me as a bad guy. He strikes me that he's been a bad guy, his entire life, and it's kind of we get that he's been spent time in prison and stuff, but it's very convincing. And I've seen countless movies where the bad guy is not convincing. He plays a bad guy, but he doesn't convince me that he's a bad guy. Travolta in this movie convinces me that he is a bad guy, and sometimes it shows you that he's a bad guy by killing somebody or whatever.
Yeah, he never becomes someone you start rooting for,
right?
And, despite there still being something interesting about him on screen, like he's captivating and interesting to watch without being so good that you start rooting for him.
Right,
Like
right.
it actually is. I don't want to say balanced, but pretty great.
Well, and I'm not comparing these two performances or characters at all, but we just watched the Dark Knight a couple months ago, and in that movie, you find yourself wanting to watch more of Heath Ledger's The Joker. I don't know if you root for him, right? But you want to see more of him is because he's right.
There's kind
right,
of like
and there is that line. Right, there is that line that the screenplay goes up to, and it's like, hey, maybe he's got a point. Maybe the Joker isn't wrong, and so I never felt that way with Travolta's character here, but their performances are elevated enough to make me go, I want to see more of them, and Travolta is 100% that type of character for me, is because I just think he's really good playing this type of bad guy. And it kind of makes me wish that this kind of had been his entire career, is that playing these types of characters, is because like he's really good at it.
Yeah. He's a nutcase, and I like it.
Yeah.
Did you like Luis Guzman?
I mean, sure. I mean, he's a recognizable
was
face.
Like the opposite. Like he was kind of unlikable.
Right.
Like, even though he wasn't as evil, right? Like he wasn't like when someone got killed, it was like he was not here for it. He really didn't want someone's blood on his hands. It's not what he was signing up for. And, so he's kind of this, I don't want to say small time criminal, but he's kind of this thief. But he's not really a murderer, even though, he sort of happens. I don't think he actually murders anybody. He watches the guy get murdered by his partner.
Yeah.
And yet you find him completely unlikable. He's kind of a snake, a criminal, repeat criminal. But then again, so is Denzel. Like we kind of find out that Denzel's maybe a criminal. So I thought it was an interesting contrast.
It is, but I also felt like he was kind of wasted. You probably could have gotten anybody to play that role, and it would have been fine.
Yeah, but they got Guzman.
Right.
I was fine with it.
James Gandolfini, I mean, he was kind of wasted in this as well.
I think he looked like a mayor, and I actually
he looked like a mobster mayor.
Well, that's just because you're looking at it in the hindsight of his run on The Sopranos. It's kind of hard.
Yes, correct.
But I thought he was entertaining when he was on screen. I enjoyed his reactions to how like everybody calling him out for his trouble with his marriage. And I really like the scene at the end of the movie when he essentially says, hey, the city of New York's going to go to bat for you with these criminal charges against you. Essentially saying, I'm going to take care of it because you essentially saved a bunch of people in the city.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're right. Fine. It was a fine performance by James Gandolfini.
You don't have to agree.
It's not that I don't agree. It's just that like it's just recognizable face. Again, I think James Gandolfini is in this movie as a recognizable face. Luis Guzman is the same. They don't really serve many purposes other than being recognizable. Like it's James Gandolfini is a great actor. I don't think he was given much to work with in regards to his character here, but and neither was Luis Guzman. And I've seen Luis Guzman in a lot of things, and he's got a ton of range.
Yeah.
And I really feel like he's kind of given the same treatment here. That's fine. Because the movie's not about James Gandolfini or Luis Guzman. They're just there as so you can recognize them. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, there's really not much to add. I don't think this movie has a lot of depth or themes. Like it doesn't really say anything. Doesn't even try to really make a point of like the stock
things are bad. Don't do those things. Right.
They don't even get into that. Like if you've seen the movie The Other Guys, it's a comedy with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg's fantastic movie, but they really try to illustrate how the market is made for billionaires and how they manipulate it and how it causes crises for the little guy and that sort of thing. It becomes a part of the plot. Whereas this really just felt like it was thrown in to a degree, like
Yeah.
part of his motivation. And it added a little depth to the character that really he was playing a different game than they thought he was playing, which means he's a smart villain. But at the end of the movie, right, he's like, hey, I'm not going back to jail. I need you to kill me, kill me, kill me, kill me. I'm going to pull my gun out and shoot you if you don't kill me. And he gets killed. And then that's the end. And I found it a little unsatisfying because in a lot of ways, Denzel kind of loses a little bit because now he's killed somebody.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting that on my conscience, and regardless of whether you have permission or not, not a great thing to have.
Regardless if you have permission or not. As if if that makes it okay. I give you permission to kill me. Okay, I will. Yeah. I mean, the ending was fine. Again, they share the screen so little that like it had me actually wanting them to go back to talking to each other on the radio. And that's where this movie's the best, right? Is when they're having these conversations and they're playing off each other in this dialogue. And it just happens to take place on a train and in a transit authority dispatch center, right? But Jeff, do you recommend this one?
Actually, I do. It isn't going to. I'm recommending it based on the pitch, and the pitch is an entertaining action flick that is well acted that you're not going to regret spending an evening watching. And I think the Pelham 123 fits that bill and does it well. And are you going to come back and watch it again? Probably not. I don't think it's anybody's favorite. It might be, but I still had a lot of fun watching it. It was easy to watch. It's just an easy, enjoyable watch. You get to watch Denzel and Travolta really kind of do what they do best. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'll recommend it. It's not going to make my top 10 movies of the year probably, but it is, like you said, it is enjoyable. It's fun. The two leads here are great. The action around these conversations that happen are, pretty good. I mean, there's a it's not a chase sequence, but it's a money delivering sequence. It's like a chase. That's a really good action sequence. So there's a lot of things to like here, and like you said, it's easy to watch. There's nothing like super deep here. It's nothing super heavy. It's just one like Mount Rushmore level great actor and another iconic actor giving great performances. And so I'll recommend it. It's it's pretty good.
You really think Travolta's a Mount Rushmore actor? I'm just kidding. I knew who you meant.
I mean, would you agree he's a Rushmore level actor?
Yes, certainly of our lifetime.
Yeah.
And that being said, the actors weren't particularly that great before our lifetime. I mean, there were some, but
like I said, Denzel is timeless. You could put him in any era of film,
he might be the best. Honestly, he might be the best.
He would stand up against anybody in any era of film.
Yeah, I mean,
he might
really
be
else. Like, who else is on your Mount Rushmore
of actors? Oh God, probably Daniel Day-Lewis is probably up there. I don't. Man, that's That's hard to name on the spot.
Van Damme, Chuck Norris, Denzel Washington, and
Arnold.
nah, he's not that good. No, I mean, I think Kate Winslet is fucking excellent. I think,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, Meryl Streep is real good.
Yeah, I mean, but how many Meryl Streep movies do you really like?
That's true.
I mean, there's probably people who
is,
do, but like, I mean, have you ever seen like Little Children with Kate Winslet?
I think so. I think I have actually.
I also like Toni Collette. I think she's great. Denzel, and I'm trying to think of like who I feel is just gonna have me in safe hands. Maybe like. Oof, I don't know. It's hard to pick.
I mean, it's honestly, Tom Cruise would probably be pretty up. He'd probably be up there.
I think in the levels of fame, and if we're
no,
talking
I'm
just movie star,
yeah,
yes.
right.
Like
I
him and
think
Tom Hanks, I think are like movie stars.
Yeah. I think like with somebody like Tom Cruise, you can put him in any era of film, and he is one of the best because of what he does. Right. He pushes the limits. He's charismatic. He's magnetic. And he does his own stuff. Right. I think if Tom Cruise lived in the 40s and was a movie star in the 40s, he would have been like Hollywood's elite of elite. And I just think there are certain actors, and we just happen to be living in their lifetimes too, that you just kind of know that they're just one of the best that have ever done it. And for me, Denzel is for sure one of those.
I agree. Like,
anyways,
I don't think you'll find a disagreement from many people.
Jeff, what are we watching next week?
Oh, for us, what are we going to watch? So the question becomes, is this going to be an all-time classic? Is this... Okay, I'm going to bet that next week's film is not going to be anywhere close to the worst thing we've watched. I think we're going to be okay. That being said, we're going to watch a direct-to-video movie called Snakes on a Train. I'm guessing playing off of the popularity of Snakes on a Plane. Snakes on a Train came out in 2006. I need to look up when Snakes on a Plane come out. Snakes on a...
Before you picked this, I had no idea it existed.
Oh, Snakes on a Plane was also 06. So they shit this out as soon as possible. I need release dates. Let me see if I can find that here, because because when it's the same year, I need to know how they did this. Well, because Snakes on a Plane got delayed, right? Because the trailer came out and everyone was like, this looks awesome, but it's PG-13 and we really want it to be rated R. And so they went back to the drawing board and they added some scenes with some motherfuckers and shit like that, right? So I'm wondering if this came out in the time in between. Let me see here. Did you know? August 18th, and Snakes it came out 3 days before. So Snakes on a Train was the first to market. But
have you seen the IMDb rating for Snakes on a Train?
On a Train? Yes, it's epic. If you were playing golf,
historically low.
it's got itself an eagle because
I don't understand that reference.
You don't know golf. Like in golf,
no, I know what
I
know what an eagle is.
Like you're below par, and this shit is way below par.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that reference.
I'm excited
Um,
because it's an hour and a half.
yeah.
It's gonna be butt. We know it's gonna be butt. However, I had to say however there, as opposed to but. However, I have hopes that it's gonna be hilariously bad. And the snakes in the trailer look god awful. And I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be good. In a bad
Yeah.
way.
I don't.
I also threw into AI. I asked AI, hey, does the film Snakes on a Train have any nudity? And it said yes. So we got that to look forward to. I didn't ask it to specify what kind of nudity. It could be different kind of snakes on this train.
Really? Hey, did you download the porn version of this?
No, I would never. Eesh. Dude, that could go in a weird way. Anything I don't mix animals and my adult entertainment. It's not for me.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
even
it's not.
it's
not
there's
good.
things I don't need to see. I don't want to see.
Yeah.
And I find
Yeah,
it
yeah.
best. Like, I'm as far as I'll go is look out like a Playboy bunny. And even that's pushing it,
Okay. All right. So join us next week as we watch Snakes on a Train, and you also can do that's probably a good idea, like Snakes on a Train, is hit the subscribe button when it pops up if you're watching on the YouTube. That way you don't miss any future content right here on our channel. And if you want to follow the podcast on all your favorite social media platforms, we're at Movie Draft House. So we're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, right here on YouTube. So give us a like, follow, and subscribe. And Jeff, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on the worldwide internet. You can find my other podcast called, I got to remember which podcast I'm on, and then talk about the opposite one. My other podcast called Chronologically, where we're going through the films of Stephen King's works in the 90s, and that's pretty fun. So you can check that out. And that's about it. I'm on Letterboxd. I never update it. I'm bad at social media is what I'm trying to say.
But you can find him on Letterboxd at Jeffy Potts.
Jeffy Pods, yes.
Oh, Jeffy Pods. I'm sorry, not Jeffy
Not
Potts.
Like I smoked that shit.
No, like a flower pot. Like you're a
Why
botanist.
did you think it was Jeffy Potts? You think I'm into pottery?
You're an artiste. Jeff, any last words?
I wish I had some, but I don't.